at 4, and here are the stories we have for you at this time. Let's begin with security matters. The Delta State Police Command has arrested 202 suspects during an intelligence-led raid on identified criminal hideouts across the Asaba metropolis. The operation, led by the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations, alongside other officers of the command, followed credible intelligence gathered by the State Intelligence Department. Here is the report.
Operatives targeted identified black spots, brothels, and suspected illicit drug dens within the state capital. The operation led to the arrest of 202 suspects, comprising 102 men and 100 women. Police say the suspects were being investigated for offenses including operating brothels, possession and sale of suspected illicit drugs, and other related crimes. During the exercise, officers also impounded 5 vehicles, 10 tricycles, and 10 motorcycles for alleged violations of traffic regulations, the state government's restriction on tricycle operations, and the ban on motorcycles in the designated areas. The Commissioner of Police, Delta State Command, Yemi Oyeniyi, reaffirmed the command's commitment to intelligence-led policing and sustained operations against criminal activities across the state. He assured residents that the police would continue to deny criminal elements the space to operate and urged members of the public to support security agencies by providing credible and timely information. Similarly, the Delta State Police Command says it has intensified its visibility policing and statewide enforcement operations, impounding 31 vehicles during a coordinated patrol in Abo. The operation covered the Abo metropolis major highways, entry and exit points, as well as border communities between Delta and Edo states. According to the police, the exercise was aimed at strengthening security, preventing crime, enforcing traffic and vehicle registration laws, and denying criminal elements the opportunity to operate. During the operation, police impounded 31 vehicles for various offenses, including failure to display registration number plates, obscured or covered number plates, expired vehicle documents, and other traffic-related violations. Police say the affected vehicles will be charged before a court of competent jurisdiction. In another development, a Delta State resident, Michael James, has confessed to staging his own kidnap in a bid to extort 25 million naira from his family. According to the police, James hid in a nearby bush after leaving home to dispose of refuse, then called his mother claiming he had been abducted and that his captors were demanding a ransom.
The reason why I kidnapped myself was because I was owing my sister and my brother's money. I have already used the money. I don't have any way to pay back. So on 1st of this month, they sent me to go and throw away dirty. So after I don't throw the dirty, I come park my wheelbarrow, come enter bush. After some time, my parents they come they call, my mom, my sister they call, I no pick the call. Then because everywhere I reach, I come call back, call my mom say they kidnapped me. Say they smart bring 25 million. I can't end the call. I can't the call, I no pick. Come get where reach, I pick the call. I can't tell her say they flog me. Oh. She come they ask how I can tell her say they flog me. Say I don't transfer 700,000 give them. Say they flog me. So I can't end the call. Come get where reach again. They call. I no pick call. So the process say they can't get where reach. We come be say they call. I no pick. They can't get reach. I pick the call. I can't tell and say I can't the flog block the cry say that they flog me. They ask of the money. Customer no worry. Say police and vigilante they don't they inside the matter. Say that they investigate. So man no worry. Say they rescue me. Can't tell after some hours. College evening. They won't call for. I can't come out for what day. Come out for what day. Can't enter by go one place. By then rain don already before. I can't come back say I escaped from them.
Meanwhile, 3 teenagers aged between 18 and 19 and a 21-year-old suspect have been arrested for overspeeding and reckless driving in Asaba metropolis. Police spokesperson Bright Edafe in a video alleged that all 4 suspects were into internet fraud.
The oldest among them is 21 years. Others are 19 years. I can guarantee you that they don't have anything meaningful that they are doing for a living. Now, this is the first vehicle. This is the first vehicle. Then come around. This is another vehicle. Then we have the black Mercedes Benz, and this is another Lexus, 1921. On Friday night, at about 12 midnight, according to them, while our policemen were on visibility patrol, they saw 4 vehicles at 12 midnight in the town of Okpanam Road, driving at a speed of approximately 120 kilometers per hour, as if they were having car race. It is obvious because that is what you call it. Undermining the fact that they could pose a very serious threat to people who are on their own. And that is why you see some of these boys, they will just drive, ram into people and kill them. Like the one that happened in Ugele. You just go about driving recklessly and killing people.
Moving on from security to cultural matters now, the Palace of the Asaba of Asaba has reiterated its ban on the sale of ogbono in Asaba markets, describing the commodity as a prohibited item under the community's age-long customs. Chiefs of Ahaba made the position known during a press briefing, warning that anyone who violates the directive will face sanctions. Priscilla Ifani tells us more.
Chiefs of Ahaba, speaking on behalf of the Asaba of Asaba, said the sale of ogbono seed has been prohibited in the community for more than 2 centuries. They expressed concern over the recent increase in the sale of the seeds in local markets, describing the development as a violation of customs and traditions of the Asaba kingdom. The chiefs explained that the press briefing became necessary to remind residents, traders, and the general public that the ban remains in force and must be strictly observed.
There has been a very, very reckless trafficking of a seed called the ogbono seed that the Asaba community forbids. This seed has been banned for over 2 centuries in this community, but we are now experiencing an increase in the sale in all the markets on this commodity, and it does not go well with us. We are gathered here to let the world know that this is a forbidden commodity.
The traditional leaders announced that enforcement of the directive will be intensified to ensure full compliance. They also disclosed that a task force will be deployed to monitor markets, while anyone found selling the prohibited community will face sanctions in accordance with the traditional laws of the community. They urged traders and residents to respect the age-old prohibition and refrain from actions capable of undermining the customs and tradition of the Asaba kingdom.
We're going to have stringent measures put in place. I'm going to make sure that all the union heads in the markets, the task force agencies in the markets, will be aware of this pronouncement and will be watching skillfully. And anybody who sells this commodity in the markets, not only that whatever you are selling will be confiscated, you'll be banned and sanctioned seriously from the market. And also, there will also be spiritual and traditional sanctions.
The chiefs further called on traders and residents to comply with the directive, emphasizing that preserving the customs and tradition of the Asaba kingdom is a collective responsibility. Reporting from Asaba, Priscilla Ifani, Dott TV News.
Now, reactions have continued to trail major reforms approved by the federal government for the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) scheme. Among the reforms approved are the extension of the orientation camp program from 3 weeks to 6 weeks and scrapping of military drills as part of efforts to reposition the scheme for national development. Opinions are divided among stakeholders and members of the public on the reforms coming 53 years after the establishment of the NYSC. Cynthia Adanaya tells us more.
For over 5 decades, the National Youth Service Corps has served as a platform for promoting national unity, cultural integration, and youth development. However, evolving national realities have prompted the federal government to introduce reforms aimed at strengthening the scheme and making it more responsive to present-day challenges. While some prospective corps members believe the extension of the orientation camp will provide more time for leadership development, entrepreneurship training, and skills acquisition. Others express concerns that the longer duration could impose additional financial and personal burdens on participants.
We want to build an NYC out of just mobilization of program. We are looking and working for the strong partnership for skill development, job creations, possibility, and national growth. The key reforms are stated clearly to put a call of details in digital way and a self-development core members for security and also attentions in special issues, and also preparing a better state of camps in all states of the federation, making the state government, the subnational, a clear standard orientation camp for all young people. And also the passing out parade should be redesigned from just a parade to a ceremony, a graduation ceremony properly.
Stakeholders also expressed divergent views on the decision to scrap military drills, while some argue that the drills were no longer necessary and that greater emphasis should be placed on vocational training and career development. Others maintain that the exercises played a vital role in instilling discipline, teamwork, and resilience among corps members.
It was not the Nigerian making per se. That means we borrowed it from some other climes. Like in Israel, every citizen that is 18 years and above, to a large extent, has paramilitary experiences because you may be called up at any time.
Education experts believe the success of the reform will depend largely on effective implementation, improved welfare for corps members, and the introduction of practical programs that address unemployment, security concerns, and national development.
So when they can acquire skill, that they will not be looking for a white-collar job. You cannot be an employer of labor. And I know the present government is empowering our youth with a lot of empowerment programs that are in place to ensure that they can take off on their own. With necessary skill acquisition, I believe definitely job creation definitely will improve and unemployment rate will reduce drastically. It's a welcome development.
As the federal government begins the implementation of these reforms, many Nigerians will be watching closely to see whether the changes strengthen the NYSC's role in preparing young graduates for national service and life beyond the university. Reporting from Asaba, Cynthia Adanaya, Dott TV News.
And moving on now, the federal government has concluded arrangements to evacuate another 270 Nigerians from South Africa as renewed xenophobic tensions and anti-immigrant protests continue to raise safety concerns for foreign nationals. The returnees are expected to arrive at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, in the early hours of Wednesday aboard an Air Peace aircraft deployed for the government-coordinated operation. The latest evacuation forms part of Nigeria's ongoing efforts to assist citizens who have voluntarily opted to return home following rising security concerns in South Africa. The exercise is being coordinated by the Nigerian High Commission in Pretoria in collaboration with relevant government agencies. Announcing the operation on Monday, the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kimiebi Imomotimi Ebiemfa, said the aircraft would depart Lagos for Johannesburg on Tuesday before returning overnight with the evacuees. Meanwhile, former Minister of State for Foreign Affairs Nuruddin Mohammed has warned that escalating xenophobic tensions in South Africa could compel Nigeria to adopt stronger diplomatic measures if the situation continues to deteriorate. Speaking on the growing hostility towards foreign nationals in South Africa, Mohammed said anti-immigrant sentiment has become a major social issue, with many South Africans expressing strong opposition to illegal immigration. According to him, while South African political leaders have not openly endorsed attacks or mob actions against foreigners, they have also failed to take a firm enough stance to discourage such behavior. Coming up shortly on the news at 4 here on Dott TV, wildfire in southern France forces evacuation of 10,000 people. And that's on foreign news, plus sports. But that's after the break. Don't go away.
In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them. Thanks for staying tuned. This is still Dott TV News at 4. And here are the rest of our stories. The presidential candidate of the Nigeria Democratic Congress, NDC, for the 2027 election, Peter Obi, has alleged that President Bola Tinubu did not contact Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde more than 50 days after the abduction of school children in the state, describing the situation as evidence of a deepening leadership crisis. In a post on X titled "Worsening Leadership Crisis in the Country, Now Evident," Obi criticized the federal government's response to insecurity, accusing the Tinubu administration of lacking compassion and urgency in addressing the plight of kidnapped victims. According to Obi, he had spoken publicly on 2 occasions, including appealing directly to the abductors to release the children. He also said he contacted Governor Makinde twice to express solidarity, stressing that the incident should be treated as a national tragedy rather than a state issue. And still in the southwest of Nigeria, and precisely in Ekiti State, Governor Biodun Oyebanji has visited worshippers from Eda Oniyo in Ilejemeje local government area who will regain their freedom after spending more than 2 months in captivity. The governor visited the survivors on Sunday at the Ekiti State University Teaching Hospital, where they are receiving medical treatment following their release on Saturday. A community representative and former commissioner, Rufus Ajayi, said the community had to borrow money to raise 25.5 million naira ransom, despite losing 1 person. The worshippers were abducted in April 2026 when gunmen suspected to be bandits attacked an open-air revival organized by the Christ Apostolic Church in Eda Oniyo. In other news now, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has issued a flash flood risk alert for July 1st to 10th across Lagos State and 26 other states. In the advisory, NIMET attributed the heightened risk to the persistent rainfall experienced in June. It warned that further widespread rainfall expected during the period could trigger flooding, as soils across much of the country are unable to absorb additional precipitation. According to the agency, states likely to experience flash flooding during the period include Delta, Edo, Abia, Imo, Anambra, Enugu, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Rivers, and Bayelsa, amongst others. The agency also cautioned that temporary power and telecommunications outages may occur in affected areas, while poor visibility during intense rainfall could pose risks to motorists and aviation operations. And now to the foreign scene. A wildfire has forced the evacuation of thousands of people in southern France as the country grapples with the impact of an early summer heat wave that scorched much of Europe. More than 10,000 people have been ordered to leave more than a dozen small towns and villages in the foothills of the French Pyrenees near the border with Spain. Authorities have warned that strong winds could further fan the wildfire. For more stories on the foreign scene, let's now join.
Six people, including 5 children, have been killed after a building collapsed in Mumbai as monsoon rains pounded India's financial capital, flooding roads and leading to schools closure. A dilapidated residential building collapsed on Sunday in the mega city's east, trapping residents under the debris. The deaths came as heavy rainfall paralyzed parts of the city, with the India Meteorological Department recording more than 200 millimeters of rain within 24 hours. Hundreds of millions of people in India rely on the annual monsoon winds to bring vital rains that sustain agriculture and industry. Elsewhere, a super typhoon has made landfall on United States territorial island in western Pacific near Guam, with authorities saying they have received reports of significant damage as powerful winds and torrential rain hit the northern Mariana Islands. The eye of the super typhoon Bavi passed over the island of Rota on Monday morning local time, bringing winds equivalent to a Category 5 hurricane. When the storm first hit, the U.S. National Weather Service urged Rota's residents on social media to treat these immediate extreme winds as if a tornado was approaching and move immediately to an interior room or shelter. Away from that, an Israeli drone strike has killed 4 people in southern Lebanon after targeting a vehicle on the Nabat El Fakwa road. According to Lebanon's national news agency, the dead included Esperanza Gando, principal of Yusuf Shamon Public School in Nabatin Al Fakwa, her mother, a foreign domestic worker, and a serial laborer. The agency said the victims were returning from inspecting a family home when a drone fired a guided missile at their vehicle near the Teachers Training College in Nabat Al Fakwa. The Lebanese Red Cross, Civil Defense, and other emergency teams transported the bodies to hospitals in Nabatir. Meanwhile, at least 11 people have been killed in Kyiv following a second night of Russian strikes on the Ukrainian capital in a week. The city's top military administrator, Timur Kachenko, said some 46 people have been injured, including 5 children. Kachenko said rescue efforts are continuing at more than 20 locations, adding that residential high-rise buildings were hit in 2 districts. The strike comes on the eve of the NATO summit in Turkey, where Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is expected to hold talks with President Trump. Hours before the latest strikes, Zelensky had warned that Moscow was preparing a second massive strike on Kyiv following its attacks on Thursday that killed 30 people. From the foreign scene, Priscilla Ifani, Dott TV News.
Up next is Sports News with Anthony Uche.
On the sports desk, we jump straight in with news that a very controversial move has been made by FIFA to announce the suspension of a red card incurred by USA forward Folarin Balogun, with the Belgian Football Association calling the decision astonishing and also announcing it was investigating all potential options to uphold the integrity of the sport. Balogun was sent off for a high-footed foul on Bosnian defender in the round of 32 clash with the USA and was supposed to miss the last 16 tie against Belgium, but has now been cleared to play, with the world governing body yet to give any reasons for the decision. On the field, Morocco and France will be joined in the quarterfinals by Norway and England after the pair booked their places on Sunday. Erling Haaland's second-half double helped Norway stun 5-time champions Brazil and took their place in the quarterfinals of the World Cup for the first time. Bruno Guimaraes missed a chance to give Brazil the lead in the first half after missing from the spot, and despite a late goal from Neymar, the Vikings held on to the victory. In the early hours of this morning, Jude Bellingham scored twice as 10-men England also booked their place in the last 8. The Three Lions defeated L3 in what was their first loss at the Azteca Stadium since 2013, following a 1-hour delay due to inclement weather. They were made to work for it though, especially after Yero Kwanzaa was sent off in the 54th minute, and they played over 30 minutes with 10 men. Earlier, France overcame a difficult Paraguay to qualify for the quarterfinals, where they will face Morocco, who brought co-hosts Canada aside by 3-0 to become the first African nation to qualify for consecutive quarterfinals at the World Cup, after doing so in 2022. Still on the World Cup, Carlos Queiroz has stepped down as Ghana head coach after 3 months in charge, following their World Cup exit in the last 32. The 73-year-old took charge in April and led his side to a third-place finish in Group L before they were beaten by a single goal to nil by Colombia in the first round of the knockouts. Now to tennis and Wimbledon, where a resurgent Naomi Osaka stunned world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka in a brilliant performance to reach the quarterfinals of Wimbledon for the first time in her career. Japan's Osaka beat the 4-time Grand Slam champion to win 4-2, 7-6, 7-2 on center court, inflicting a first straight set loss on the Belarusian. Some other seeded players who have fallen on SW19 include defending champion Iga Swiatek, who lost 7-6, 11-9, 6-2 to highly rated Filipina Alexandra Ayala in an enthralling third-round match on center court on Saturday. That came an hour after 2022 champion Elena Rybakina was beaten 7-6, 7-4, 6-1 by Belgium's Elise Mertens. From the sports desk, Anthony Uche for Dott TV News.
Well, that's all we have for you at this time on Dott TV News at 4. Follow Dott TV across social media at official.tv. I am Ife Aronu. Have a pleasant rest of your day.